Welcome back, Slayer players. It is time for the 12th episode for the CCF variant series. This episode I will be covering the Revenant variants, with 15 different variants in total, so this episode will be shorter than the last one. Every enemy displayed will be tested in the Ultra Violence difficulty, while also showing the name, spawn code, health, rounded difficulty, spawn rate, speed, and item drops. The monsters that have a soundtrack will have the song name and the song author shown as well. The link to the official videos that have the link to the mod will be in the description. The link to this battlefield that you see is also in the description. As always, please leave a comment if I have missed something for a particular monster. With all that said, let's begin. First Revenant variant is the Guardian, standard Revenant design with 2 shoulder cannons, obviously the most common with base Revenant sounds, and comes at 300 health. It walks at its medium slow ground based speed. It has a close range punch attack. Its ranged attack is firing a couple of Revenant missiles, each projectile having a random chance to either go straight or home onto its target. Of course, since it's the first spawn, it is not going to be that much of a threat. Just at least a quad shotgun blast, or 4 regular shotgun shots. It gets the F neutral grade. All it drops are the rank 1 healing orbs. Second variant is the Cadaver. Similar shape as the regular Revenant, except this time with a single, slightly larger shoulder cannon with black fleshed legs and green eyes. It is the second most common, has the Doom 3 Revenant sounds, and comes at 450 health. It walks at a medium speed. It retains the melee punch attack, but its ranged attack is slightly different. It may fire 1 projectile, but this time it is a rocket instead of a missile. This rocket does slightly more damage, and every rocket it fires has a chance to be a homing rocket. It is not that hard to kill, barely above the Guardian. Only 3 double shotgun shots can kill it, or just 1 quad shotgun blast. If it fires a homing rocket, just go around it. Also, the homing rocket is not that fast. The Cadaver gets the same grade as the previous variant. The drops are the same as the previous. Third variant is the Hellfire Revenant. Appearance has a grey skeleton with fire-ignited flesh and a flaming head with dual cannons emitting fire sounds. It is the third common variant, has what I call the strong Revenant sounds, and spawns at 600 health. It walks at the same speeds as the previous two. Its attacks are twice as hard as the Cadaver, as it fires 2 rockets per attack, each rocket again having a chance to home in on its target, and yes, they do hit harder than Revenant missiles. Plus, it has no melee attack. It should not be hard to dodge the rockets. The homing rockets can be easily outran and circled around. The Hellfire Revenant can only survive 1 quad shotgun blast, but that's it. It can be killed with a hexa shotgun blast. You could take out a group of them with your own rockets. The Hellfire Revenant gets the E- difficulty grade. And unfortunately, they drop the same items as the last 2 variants. Fourth Revenant is the Widowmaker. It looks like an undead skeleton warrior with a medieval armor plating and a right arm cannon and a burgundy cape. It is the first of the uncommon variants, with its own growling sounds, and spawns at 750 health. It may move at a medium speed, but during close combat it can quick strafe back. Its main attack is the minigun, which is a hit scan attack and guaranteed to hit most of the time in medium range. Another attack is firing a couple of rockets, or homing rockets in a row. Its special attack is shown when it holds its arm cannon upwards and fires a spread of 3 faster moving rockets, with each having a chance to home in. Do not get too close because of the unavoidable minigun or close range rockets. Even if you do try to get close, it will strafe away. Being behind something to avoid the rockets will guarantee not getting hit by them. Using an assault shotgun in mid-range or long-range weapons when far away can take it down. Or you can take it down with your own minigun, or kill it with a full hexa shotgun blast as fast as possible. It is definitely above the Hellfire Revenant, being set at an E neutral difficulty. It can drop the rank 1 healing orbs, a chance for a combat backpack, and always drops the minigun. The 5th variant is the first of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, the Famine. Completely black with a special shaped body. Uncommon, has modified Revenant sounds, and spawns with the same health as the Widowmaker, on 750 health. It may walk at a medium speed, but it has a fast charge on it. Its attacks are a bit wild for an uncommon. Close ranged attacks include a punch, and like I said, with a movement, it can also do a fast charge punch at short range. Its main attack is firing a couple of homing soul projectiles, and the trick with these projectiles is that each projectile can bounce off of surfaces once, which can cause them to go around columns and corners, making them tricky to avoid. Unless if it is an assault shotgun or a heavy shotgun around corners, do not get close. That charge punch could catch you off guard. You should really get far to avoid those wall bouncing homing shots. One of its special abilities is reviving itself if killed in a certain death. If it doesn't have a soul out death animation, then it will revive itself soon after. Use mines to place it around its death area to try to kill it again. If you want to have a 100% guaranteed death, use the freezer rifle, but finish it with the alt-fire wind blast and not the projectile main attack, as the projectile has a chance to not freeze the target on death. Being an Apocalypse Horseman, it is no wonder it may be tricky to face more than one. Using a heavy weapon would guarantee the actual death more than weaker weapons. The Famine gets the E+ difficulty grade. It drops the large rank 1 healing orbs and demon tech boxes. 6th variant and 2nd of the Apocalypse Horsemen, and the most annoying of them, Pestilence. It glows green, has no legs, just a torso and up emitting green cloud particles. It is uncommon, has unique sounds, and spawns at 850 health. This time it flies and can fly fast because it also has quick strafing. Firstly, its presence up close can do damage as it emits damaging gas clouds. It also shoots mostly homing rockets, and during flight, they all emit damaging gas clouds, and upon impact, they deal explosive damage and poison status. Because of its mobility, it makes it hard to hit, especially from far away. Pair that up with having to constantly dodge pairs of annoying, noisy beeping homing rockets. You definitely want to have a homing weapon of your own, or a good, accurate, long-ranged weapon like the railgun. Don't bother trying to hit it with a projectile-based weapon. The Pestilence gets the D- difficulty grade. They drop the large rank 1 healing orbs. 7th variant and 3rd and final Apocalypse Horseman variant is War. Yes, there's no death, but maybe we'll see it in the Archfiles. Anyway, War has a similar appearance to the Widowmaker, but this time slightly taller with 2 arm cannons and dual shoulder cannons. It is a rare variant, has its own monstrous sounds, and comes at the 3rd highest Revenant health, being 1,600. It walks at a medium speed. Its attacks may not be as annoying as the Pestilence or the Famine, but it definitely has way more of a punch to dish out. It has a dual flamethrower that it can use in close range. It can fire a dual volley of straight rockets. It also has fast-moving homing rockets that it fires from its shoulder cannons. Its dangerous and tactical-based attack is firing a dual volley of fireballs that upon impact emit damaging flames all over the ground. A deadly attack is it can fire a dual barrage of BFG 11K shots. And its most powerful attack is charging up a massive barrage of most of different attacks that it has, especially the homing rockets. If it's far away in an open area, it can be hard to fight back against this thing. It is definitely a powerhouse compared to the other two with the damage it does and the amount of health that it has. If you have at least the quad shotgun, quickly blast it, then get away. Hide behind cover, then repeat. If it's far away, let's hope you have a railgun. War gets the D+ difficulty grade. When it dies, it can drop large rank 1 healing orbs, rank 3 armor pickups, rocket boxes, a homing rocket launcher, and a combat backpack. 8th variant is the Drauger, a green bipedal skeletal creature with a Grim Reaper cloak. It is uncommon, has growling sounds, and spawns at 900 health. Like most Revenants, it walks at a medium speed. It can fire a barrage of mini-rockets. It can also fire a couple of slightly fast-moving Revenant missiles, with them having a chance to home onto the target. Its most dangerous but avoidable attack is that it fires a volley of napalm rockets, which upon impact emit flames on the ground as well as smaller inferno projectiles. Do not step on the fire because it can deal a lot of damage. One other rare attack is that it fires a grenade that emits shrapnel. The mini-rockets are easy to avoid. Revenant missiles just need to be circled around. Do not be in a tight area or those napalm rockets will kill you. Just blast it with large shotguns up close or rocket it down in middle range. The Drauger gets the E+ difficulty grade. It drops a bunch of items like the large rank 1 life orbs, ammo satchels, hand grenades, landmines, spring mines, rockets, and Nemesis armor shards. Ninth variant is the Cerebral Incarnate, similar appearance to the Drauger. It is slightly taller and has red skin instead of green. Like the previous, it is uncommon, has screeching sounds, and spawns at 1100 health points. It may make more stepping sounds, but it barely walks any faster than the other variants. It can fire a row of straight rockets. It can also fire a couple of heavy but slower rockets, which some have a chance to home in. It can also shoot a continuous dual barrage of wall-bouncing bullets. It also fires a volley of BFG 11K shots. If it's stuck firing those dual barrages of bullets, just blast it with a rocket or a heavy shotgun. You can especially exploit its dual bullet attack by getting behind sprite cover. Just don't get too close behind a wall because those bullets will bounce back. 2 hexa shotgun blasts should be enough to kill it. The Cerebral Incarnate gets the D- difficulty grade. It can drop the large rank 1 healing orbs and a minigun. 10th variant is the Insane type, the Insanity Revenant. A floating revenant with no legs, with boosters and skull shoulder cannons, which is silver glowing red, emitting red flames with fire sounds. It is a rare spawn, has modified revenant sounds, and spawns at 950 health. It may fly slow, but it can quick strafe, making it move fast. As with every insane type monster, it has a bunch of crazy attacks. Firstly, it has no melee attack. Instead, it can fire a short volley of 4 Revenant missiles. It can also fire a row of lasers. It could also shoot a volley of fast homing rockets. It fires a dual barrage of BFG 11K shots. And also heavy railgun shots. It is definitely effective at any range, especially middle and long range with that railgun. If you have a heavy shotgun up close, do not be reckless and do not hesitate to use it. You could be safe behind sprite cover. With weapons with weak damage per shot like the minigun, it takes a while to kill it. Even with a quad shotgun, it takes a while to kill. Do not stop sidestepping when fighting this thing in an open area, especially when others like it are present. The Insanity Revenant gets the D-neutral difficulty grade. When it dies, it can drop large rank 1 healing orbs and demon tech boxes. 11th is the hardest non-legendary variant, the Phase Ghoul, and also one of the hardest minions from the Phase Warlord. It has a special heavy revenant design that is black with small purple details emitting after images. It is a rare spawn with 2D deep voice sounds and spawns at 1250 health. It does not fly, but it can move fast, very fast, and even hop around during combat. Being the hardest Phase Warlord spawn, it can have some of the most bothersome attacks. Firstly, most if not all of its attacks can blind and disorient your line of sight when you are hit. In close range, it can do a quick charging punch. Its most frequent and most annoying attack is firing a volley of rockets or spiraling homing rockets. It also fires a volley of the homing and wall-bouncing soul projectiles. It also throws a 5 spread of ground-based elevation clipping projectiles. It can also fire a barrage of heavy railgun shots. One of its special abilities is that it makes temporary shadow clones of itself, and its shadow clones have almost all of the same attacks that it has, and you cannot hit the shadow clone. It also has its own round BFG shots. Its rate of attack is very high, making it dangerous to be in an open area, especially for its homing-based attacks. Even when it is far away, it is still dangerous. It can feign death when it runs out of health. You can tell if it feigns death if it doesn't drop any items. Then after it feigns death, it will resurrect itself with its full health, which means you have to kill it again, which makes it harder. Hope you only encounter one at a time, because the most times you will have to face more than one of these is if the Phase Warlord summons multiple of them. By the way, best hope you have heavy weapons before encountering one of them, because even with one heavy weapon, it is hard to kill this thing. Fast movement, fast and deadly attacks, disorienting vision, self-reviving, high health, all of that gives the Phase Ghoul the B+ difficulty grade. That's barely below the Phase Warlord, and higher than the Legendary Imp. Hope you get some good stuff when it does the true death. It can drop large rank when healing orbs, demon tech cells and cell boxes, the demon tech rifle, the ultra sphere, and the phase sphere. Variant 12 is the Legendary Revenant. Similar shape as the last one, but a more ribbed build that is gold with a gold aura and a gold light. Rare spawn, has its own original sounds, and starts at 1350 health. Man, this is one of the hardest legendaries in the mod. Let's start with the movement. It can move very fast. Also, since it is a legendary demon, it can also teleport. Its attacks make the Revenant types one of the most dangerous. It can do a charging punch in close range. It can fire legendary rockets. It fires legendary plasma shots. Some of the single ones have slight homing ability. It can even fire them in a 360 spinning manner. It can fire a barrage of swirling plasma projectiles. It can fire heavy rail guns. It can also unleash a ground-based attack, which is a straight barrage of zombie hands coming from the ground that do damage as long as they are there. Its most powerful attack that it charges during an invulnerable state, and the pinnacle attack that makes it challenging and deadly, is firing legendary plasmatic cluster bombs that emit a bunch of wall-bouncing, slightly homing, high-damaging, fast-moving, legendary plasmatic shots that scatter all over the place, and there are a bunch of them when they are fired. First Blood. Like a few other Revenant variants, it can feign death. However, it is a bit more noticeable that it feigns death by looking at the health bar on the side, if it's still there, and if the only items it drops are large healing orbs. Whether it does a real death or a fake death, it will emit a bunch of zombie hands out of the ground for a while until it wears out. So don't get too close. That plasmatic cluster bomb attack should force you to immediately get into another room. Leave the open area that it is in and wait for the plasmatic shots to wear out. Again, do not use legendary weapons as legendary enemies are immune to them. The weapon that I strongly recommend to deal with a legendary Revenant is the Demon Tech Railgun. It takes around 5 direct hits as long as you don't hit the legendary Revenant while it is in an invulnerable state. But besides that, the legendary Revenant gets the double A- difficulty grade. When it dies for real, it can drop the following: legendary healing orbs, legendary plasmatic cells and cell boxes, legendary armor, legendary plasmatic cannon, a legendary rune or random sphere, the salvation sphere, legendary ammo sphere, and the legendary demon rune. 13th variant is the Enraged legendary Revenant. Same appearance as the last one, except this time it has red details with a red aura and a red light. It is a very rare spawn, modified sounds of the last variant, and starts at 1600 health.
First blood.
The fast movement and teleportation is retained from the previous variant. The attacks are roughly the same as the last variant, except they do more damage than the previous. To recap, it has a charge punch in close range, what it can do in rapid succession. Enraged legendary rockets, the plasma shots, and spiraling plasma shots. Heavy rail guns, and Trails of the Undead Hands. One attack that is different is the charging attack. This time it takes longer for the Enraged legendary variant that includes spreads of enraged plasmatic clusters. They unleash a massive spread of projectiles with the same abilities as the last one. The only legendary level weapons that you can harm legendary variants are Nemesis weapons. But if you do not have those, use Demon Tech weapons. They work best against legendary level monsters. Or heavy plasma weapons like the BFG 10K or the Repeater. Like the previous variant, it can also feign death while dropping large rank 1 healing orbs, while emitting undead hands around it. The rate of fire it has with its attacks are much faster. The only easier thing about it is the longer charge time, which allows you to get in cover more likely. You are not going to do much in long range unless if you have a railgun. Only when you are behind a large solid cover around corners can you try to use a Hexa shotgun when it comes in sight. In the end, the Enraged Legendary Revenant gets the AA+ difficulty grade. It can drop the Legendary Healing Orbs, Enraged Plasmatic Cells and Cell Boxes, Enraged Legendary Plasmatic Rifle, the Enraged Legendary Plasmatic Cannon, Enraged Legendary Armor, Enraged Legendary Sphere, the Legendary Ammo Sphere, and a Legendary Rune or Legendary Random Sphere. 14th variant is the Nemesis Revenant. Same base color and shape, but with black details, black smoke, and a blackening light. It is very rare, has unique sounds, and stands at 2,700 health. It is the third time in a row it has similar movement, but it will end before the next one. It also teleports further, which it can flank you with. You may think because it is similar to the previous two that the only thing about it is the attacks have more damage. Well, actually, it takes it a step further by adding more different attacks, doing more than just punches, rockets, homing rockets, spiraling plasma shots, rapid trails of zombie hands, but also lasers which have a blast radius, firing meteor fireballs which could home in or in a round succession, fast dark shots, charging up a 360 circling spread of firing wall-bouncing plasmatic cannon shots, or charge up dual ion beams, which unleash a massive spread of plasmatic cannon shots. It even does these attacks in combos. However, its most powerful attack is when it makes a Drauger laugh sound and charges up a massive attack of almost everything it has in its arsenal. Let's see through the window. First, a chance to teleport followed by a massive spread of fast dark shots, then a few lasers, then a 360 scatter spread of plasmatic cannon shots, then another teleport followed by a bunch of lasers, then lastly a volley of dual ion beams that again emit more plasmatic cannon shots. When you hear this thing present, you immediately need to know what place is safe, then find out what room it is going to be in, and then hope that you don't get flanked by it. Because you cannot survive this thing in an open area without top level equipment. Even with a legendary rune, giving double damage is hard to take this thing down. It is best to be right next to a door to another room, then blast it when it comes in line of sight. Or be at a vantage point. Throw either mines or shoot it with a railgun. A heavy weapon I would recommend, in long range in open areas, is the Demon Tech Devastator. The Drauger laugh attack may give you enough time to run away, but the other two charged attacks give shorter time, so you have to immediately be right next to something before it aims, which may not do much to keep you safe unless if it's in another room. The Nemesis Revenant gets the AAA+ difficulty grade. It can drop Nemesis Healing Orbs, Nemesis Armor Shards, Nemesis Plasmatic Cells and Cell Boxes, the Nemesis Rifle, Nemesis Plasmatic Cannon, the Legendary Salvation Sphere, a Legendary Rune or Legendary Random Sphere, and the Nemesis Sphere. Nemesis enemies also have a chance to drop a cluster of Nemesis Life Orbs, Nemesis Shards, and Nemesis Cells. 15th and final variant, if you kill the Nemesis Revenant too quickly or kill it with a true legendary rune equipped, this happens. Here's the hardest and most rare Revenant you can find. The Vexed Nemesis Revenant. Dark skeleton with no legs, glowing white, with golden shoulder cannons and boosters. White aura with a white light, along with loud booster noises. Sitting at 3,000 health. Oh boy, not only can this thing move very fast and teleport at a wide range, but it also flies, so you won't be able to have any vantage points from this thing anytime soon. Not only is it faster, but also more dangerous than its previous counterpart, obviously. It takes almost all of the arsenal of the Nemesis Revenant with a frenzy and adds new attacks with it. First, more rockets and homing ones, spiraling plasma shots, and fast dark shots. A frenzy of bouncing Nemesis plasmatic cannonballs and Nemesis ion beams. A new attack is a volley of Nemesis blasts of lasting explosions that leave an area of effect for a moment in its area of impact. And lastly, it charges up a powerful attack while making a construction machine sound while doing this charge on the move, much like the Vexed Side Destroyer. It fires volleys of lasting explosions while ending with a Nemesis BFG shot. And do you guys know what this Nemesis BFG shot emits, even upon impact? Well, like the Demon Tech BFG or Devastator round, during flight it has its own unavoidable ray it can shoot you with, along with smaller projectiles that can home in, and upon impact it emits bouncing, lasting explosion blasts. This monster is hard. Even with a fresh, true legendary rune, this thing is hard, so that is not enough. You need some big heavy weapons, specifically ones with crowd control, like the Devastator, because it is virtually hopeless to hit this thing with straight projectile-based weapons far away because of its aerial speed in a free space. You cannot be in a small room with this thing, and you will be able to tell when this thing is close. Once you hear its charging attacks, immediately get far away from it. It is also recommended to bring items when fighting this thing or near good power-ups. The only weapon that I cannot recommend enough is the Sublimination Sword's White Matter attack. If you can get close enough and hit it with a White Matter slash, this can literally be a good anti-Nemesis weapon. The only way to beat this thing with base equipment is if you are extremely lucky. Nemesis Revenant gets the S neutral difficulty grade, a new record by a single grade. It doesn't have the zombie hands, so when it dies you won't have to worry about that. Its drops can include Nemesis healing orbs, armor shards, and cells, or a cluster of them, along with Nemesis cell boxes, the Nemesis sphere, the Nemesis armor, legendary salvation sphere, the Nemesis plasmatic rifle and cannon, a legendary rune, and the Vexed Nemesis exclusive special item, the Nemesis fragment. That is it for the Revenant variants for this mod. Hope you all enjoyed this video, because the next episode won't be for the next few videos that I plan to upload. However, when it does come out, it will be about the Archvile variants. So to all of you good Slayer players out there, keep ripping and tearing demons, and have a great life.